Hello and welcome to the first of Zynex's Hotlap videos. Today we're doing the McLaren GT3 around Outlon Park. So to start your lap, make sure you get that apex. You can run out onto the curb, doesn't really matter. Make sure you don't however run out towards the pit lane, it'll cost you time trying to make your way back across. So for the first corner, brake at the Panasonic board, turn it in, you can let it run out wide though onto the curb. For this next corner, brake nice and early. Put it into second, let it hit off the limiter until you're ready to exit. For this fast corner, you have to throw it in, catch the inside wheel on the curb, and then braking at the white board. Do not run wide here, and accelerate at the second bollard. Braking into the chicane, brake at the Nvidia board, bump over this curb, and then try and straight line this exit. Braking for this next corner, in between the two white bollards, watch out for the inside curb, it'll send you wide. Running wide, as seen here, will cost you about a tenth of a second. For this corner, one bite of the cherry is ideal, turning in too early like that will cost you another 2/10 of a second. For this corner, you have to make sure you brake nice and early, you want to hit both apexes. And on the exit, be prepared for snap oversteer. For this corner, braking at the white board, get it into first, use the engine braking so you can get off the brakes, it balances the car better. On the exit, let it run wide again and you're almost across the line. Now as you can see, this time put me 5th, however without the mistakes I believe I could make it to 4th. Now I'm going to show you the setup. The setup is extremely stable, and my time isn't necessarily the maximum speed. With your driving, I'm sure you can make it go even faster. Now, the tyre pressures for this car aren't particularly low for this kind of track, but I've had no problems with overheating, so they could go lower. Brake pressure, the brakes very rarely lock, so that's perfect. Balance to the front, that's what we need, and the brake duct is closed for maximum heat kept in your brakes. Now, in terms of downforce on this car, you really want to have more on the front than the back. It is very understeady by nature, this car, so you really want to try and coax a wee bit of instability at the rear out of it. In terms of steering ratio for this car, it's totally up to you, but for camera angle, what I've done is increase both the front and rear. For the front, it's fine to bump it up a little bit and close to being maximum, but for the rear, I've kept it quite low because what it does is it reduces traction on the corner exit. For this section of the setup, all I've actually changed is the sway bar. The rest of these settings were perfectly fine when I did my scouting lap. The sway bar I've put stiffer at the rear to coax a bit of oversteer out of the car. Now these settings are only ever changed when you feel the car really bottoming out in the corners, and on my testing laps I didn't feel that at all, so these settings are exactly the same as standard. Now the differential settings around this track are extremely important. In terms of acceleration lock, the higher you set it, the much better exit you will get, but at the cost of understeering into the corner. For the deceleration lock, the higher the setting, the more braking stability you will have, but yet again, more understeer. So it seems that the differential settings are all about finding a happy medium. What I've done is increase the deceleration lock because I want much better braking stability, but to counter this understeer effect that I'll have, I've decreased the acceleration lock, which might affect the exit, but as you've seen from my lap, it hadn't affected it that much. So that leads us finally to the gearing. All that I've changed on this page is the final drive. I've put it down to acceleration for a much better exit and better use of the gears. Fuel load has been left the same as before, and all settings on this page are still standard. In terms of force feedback, it's totally up to you. I've put mine to 130 because I like to feel every little bump in the road. Now to round off this video, here's the summary page so you can copy exactly my setup and get it down into your car. Now I'd like to thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye bye.